We will start now. Thank you.
Okay.
Honorable Darrell Paz, MP, Minister of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications. Mrs. Kedisha Campbell-Rochester, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications, and other members of the ministry. His Worship, Mayor of Montego Bay, Councillor Richard Vernon, Mr. Douglas Lindo, Chairman of the Board of Directors, Airports Authority of Jamaica, and the Board of Directors, Mr. Audley Diedrich, President and CEO, Airports Authority of Jamaica, the executives, management, and staff of the Airport Authority of Jamaica, Mr. Hector Cortez, Country Manager, Grupo Aeroporto Pacifico, representatives from the government agencies, airline representatives, concessionaires, Mr. Shane Monroe, Chief Executive Officer, MBJ Airports Limited, other executives, management, and staff, MBJ Airports Limited, representatives of the media, other stakeholders, invited guests, a warm welcome. My name is Sharon Hislop Holt, and I'm the Manager of Commercial Business Development and Marketing with MBJ Airports Limited, operators of the Sangster International Airport. On behalf of MBJ Airports Limited, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to today's Airport Forum. This is an important occasion, an opportunity for us to engage directly with our valued stakeholders and the wider community to keep you informed on the latest developments taking shape at Sangster International Airport, an asset still owned by the government of Jamaica and thus the people of Jamaica. Today's program will feature updates on ongoing capital projects, new facilities, and the many improvements being implemented to elevate the travel experience here at MBJ. Our program will commence with opening remarks from the Honorable Minister Darrell Paz, Minister of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications. The Minister's statement will be followed by a presentation from our very own Mr. Shane Monroe, CEO, MBJ Airports Limited, who will share insights on the traffic development and the significant development works underway to transform the Sangster International Airport and enhance the user experience for all. We will thereafter be addressed by Mr. Audley Diedrich, President and CEO of the Airports Authority of Jamaica. We intend for this session to be interactive. As such, we invite you to submit your questions using the question and answer feature at the top of your screen if you are using a computer. If you are not seeing the question and answer icon, maybe you're seeing more, press the more button and the drop down button and it should be there. If you're using a cell phone, you may not see that icon, and if not, you may use the chat to submit your questions. Questions will be collected throughout the session and addressed at the end of the presentations. Once again, a warm welcome to our first of our semi-annual Airport Forum for 2026. It is now my honor to invite the Honorable Minister Darrell Paz, Minister of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications. Minister Paz, over to you.
Thank you very much. You hear me now?
Yes, clearly, yes.
Excellent, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished stakeholders of the aviation sector, representatives of MBJ Limited, Airports Authority of Jamaica, Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, airlines, government agencies, members of the business community of Montego Bay, and of course, all valued airport partners. It is indeed a pleasure to once again join you at this biannual Airport Forum hosted by MBJ Airports Limited. The forum continues to serve as an important platform for engagement between the airport community and the wider public. It allows us to reflect on achievements discuss challenges and share our vision for the future development of the Sangster International Airport and Jamaica's aviation sector as a whole. As Minister with responsibility, I wish to commend MBJ Airports Limited for its continued commitment to transparency, stakeholder engagement, and investment in the ongoing development of this critical national asset. Today, I'll speak briefly on three areas: Jamaica's aviation recovery and outlook, the significant airport development programs that are currently underway, and the future vision for Sangster International Airport and the wider aviation sector. When we met last, in December 25, Jamaica was still responding to the effects of Hurricane Melissa, which had caused significant disruption to the tourism and aviation sectors, particularly in Western Jamaica. I'm pleased to report that recovery efforts undertaken by the government, MBJ Airports Limited, tourism stakeholders, and the wider airport community have yielded positive results. The reopening of hotels, attractions, and supporting infrastructure throughout the tourism belt has progressed steadily, and likewise, Jamaica's aviation sector continues to demonstrate the resilience that has become one of its defining characteristics. While passenger traffic at Sangster International Airport remains below pre-Melissa forecasts, the recovery trajectory remains encouraging and supports our expectation that the airport will return to long-term growth in short order. At the national level, aviation traffic is projected to continue its recovery, reaching approximately 6.1 million passengers in 2026 and increasing to 7 million passengers by 2027 and approximately 7.6 million passengers by 2028. These projections reflect confidence in Jamaica's tourism product, our airlift strategy, and the continued attractiveness of Jamaica as a premier destination. Our airports remain among the most important piece of national infrastructure. They are not just merely transportation facilities. They are gateways to tourism, trade, investment, business development, emergency response, and regional connectivity. The aviation industry supports thousands of jobs directly and indirectly and remains a critical contributor to economic growth. The experience of Hurricane Melissa once again reminded us that the airports serve as a strategic national purpose, extending well beyond commercial operations. They are essential facilities during emergencies and critical enablers of national resilience. Accordingly, the government remains committed to ensuring that Jamaica's airports continue to meet the highest standards of safety, efficiency, customer service, and operational resilience. Across Jamaica's airport network, significant investments are currently being made to modernize the facilities and prepare for future growth. Airports Authority of Jamaica and its concession partners are currently pursuing airport development programs valued at approximately $340 million US over the period 2026 to 2030. These investments are focused on capacity expansion, passenger experience improvements, regulatory compliance, operational efficiency, climate resilience, and sustainability initiatives. Here at Sangster International Airport, we continue to advance a comprehensive program of capital works designed to accommodate projected demand through to the end of the concession period in 2034. As we know, several major projects are currently progressing, including the expansion of the check-in hall, expansion of the immigration hall and pre-boarding screening facilities, expansion of the East Concourse, expansion of parking facilities and roadway infrastructure, and further development of renewable energy facilities through the airport's solar program. Collectively, these projects will significantly improve passenger processing efficiency, increase terminal capacity, and enhance security screening operations, and strengthen the airport's ability to accommodate future traffic growth. Also, we should recognize MBJ's continued investment in sustainability initiatives, particularly the expansion of the solar energy generation capacity, which positions Sangster International Airport as a regional leader in environmentally responsible airport operations. These efforts have recently received international recognition through the Sangster International Airport's achievement of Level 3 Airport Carbon Accreditation under the Airports Council International Airport Carbon Accreditation Program. This significant milestone reflects the airport's success not only in managing its own environmental footprint, but also engaging airlines, ground handlers, concessionaires, and other airport partners in a coordinated approach to reducing carbon emissions across the wider airport community. The achievement places the Sangster International Airport among a select group of airports globally that have demonstrated measurable progress in advancing climate action and sustainable airport operations. The accomplishment, together with the airport's ISO 14001 Environmental Management System certification and ongoing renewable energy investments, underscores MBJ's commitment to ensuring that the future growth is achieved in a manner that is environmentally responsible, resilient, and sustainable. So I want to take the opportunity again to commend MBJ Airports Limited and the wider airport community for their continued commitment to operational excellence, customer service, and innovation, which have contributed to Sangster International Airports maintaining its position as one of the Caribbean's premier aviation gateways. While the projects currently underway will support the airport's medium-term growth requirements, planning has already commenced for the next phase of Sangster International Airport evolution. The current concession agreement expires in 2034. In anticipation of that milestone, work has already begun on the preparation of a long-term master plan that will guide the development of Sangster International Airport through 2034 to 2054. The vision being contemplated is transformational. It includes a proposed development of a new state-of-the-art airport terminal capable of supporting Jamaica's long-term tourism and VFR traffic growth, together with improved connectivity between the airport and the highway network. Government has established an enterprise team to oversee this process and to provide advice regarding the future concession arrangements that will govern the airport beyond 2034. The objective is clear: to ensure that Sangster International Airport remains one of the premier aviation gateways in the Caribbean and a catalyst for economic development for decades to come. And I had stated in 2025, and I'll restate, that we are already in touch with the concessionaires in relation to seeing whether or not a negotiation can take place in relation to fast-tracking this new terminal that is going to be so important for the future of Sangster International Airport. At Norman Manley International Airport, major investments are also underway. PACAL has embarked on an ambitious program of terminal modernization, apron rehabilitation, runway expansion, solar energy development, and passenger experience enhancements. Among the most significant projects are the terminal and cargo apron rehabilitation project, the runway extension program, both of which are undergoing as we speak, expansion of solar generation capacity also as we speak, and customs and arrival hall modernization and improvements to passenger circulation areas. These projects will further strengthen NMIA's position as a modern, efficient, and resilient international gateway serving Kingston and the wider Eastern region. The government also remains committed to the development of the domestic aviation and regional connectivity. The Fleming International Airport continues to experience encouraging growth following the introduction and expansion of the scheduled international service by American Airlines. In addition, work continues on initiatives to strengthen Jamaica's domestic and international airdrome network, including the development planning for Ken Jones Airdrome, continued evaluation of the airport development plans for Vernon Field, planning associated with the relocation of Tinsipen operations to NMIA, and advancement of the proposed international airport development for the Negril area. These initiatives form part of a broader strategy aimed at strengthening the regional connectivity, supporting tourism development, and expanding economic opportunities across Jamaica. So, ladies and gentlemen, the future of Jamaica's aviation sector remains bright. We have demonstrated resilience in the face of adversity. We continue to invest significantly in our airport infrastructure. We are planning strategically for future growth, and we remain committed to ensuring that our airports continue to serve as powerful engines of economic development and national progress. I wish to thank MBJ Airports Limited for hosting today's forum and all the stakeholders represented here for your continued partnership in advancing Jamaica's aviation sector. Together, we'll continue to build a modern, resilient, sustainable, and globally competitive aviation industry that serves the interests of all Jamaicans. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister, for your continued confidence in MBJ operating and managing the Sangster International Airport to the satisfaction of the government of Jamaica. MBJ remains committed to continuously upgrade our facilities to maintain the highest standards of service and infrastructure and to adopt the ever-evolving needs of our customers and the aviation industry at large. Everything we do is driven by one purpose: to ensure a passenger-centric, sustainable, efficient, safe, and profitable airport, more of which you will hear in the next presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to introduce the man at the helm of MBJ Airports Limited. Under his leadership, Sangster International Airport has continued to grow from strength to strength. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Shane Monroe, CEO of MBJ Airports Limited, who will provide a comprehensive update on air service development and the major infrastructural works being undertaken to support our continued growth in passenger traffic. Mr. Monroe, we welcome you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister of Energy, Transport and Telecommunication, Mrs. Kadisha Campbell Rochester, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications, His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Vernon, Mr. Douglas Lindo, Chairman of the AAJ and the Board of the AAJ, Mr. Odediji, President and CEO of Airports Authority, the management and leadership of Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, airline partners, tourism stakeholders, concessionaires, members of the airport community, and representatives of the media. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And it is a privilege to welcome you to this airport forum and to provide an update on Sangster International Airport for the first half of 2026. Sangster International Airport is more than a terminal, a runway, or a set of gates. It is the front door and the gateway to Jamaica. It is one of the most important economic gateways in the Caribbean, connecting our hotels to source markets, or people to family and opportunity, and our tourism product to the world. For more than 2 decades since MBJ began operating Sangster International Airport under the concession, this airport has been on a journey of transformation. We have expanded capacity, modernized facilities, strengthened operations, improved customer service, invested in safety and resilience, and helped position Montego Bay as one of the Caribbean's most important tourism gateways. But this last year has reminded us that aviation is not static. We have had to manage the impact of Hurricane Melissa, disruption to hotel room stock, airline network adjustments, aircraft availability constraints, and the need to restore infrastructure while continuing to operate a major international airport. At the same time, the first half of 2026 has shown us something important, that the airport is recovering, the destination is rebuilding, airlines remain committed, and new routes are being added. Also, MBJ is continuing to invest for the long term. So, as we begin, provide an overview of the overall passenger traffic for the year-to-date period through to May 2026. Sangster International Airport has welcomed just about 1.588 million passengers. Of course, this represents a decline of 27% compared to the same period in 2025 when the airport handled 2.16 million passengers. This is largely, of course, due to the impact of Hurricane Melissa. However, when we look at the monthly trend from January, we saw the steepest decline of 37.3%, but that gap has steadily narrowed each consecutive month. And by May, the variance has improved to 18.9%. This pattern, of course, is significant because it suggests that there is momentum in growing demand and recovery. The first part of 2026 affected by post-hurricane recovery environment, hotel room stock being restored, and of course, some visitors would have delayed their travel. However, the recovery is expected to continue as the hotel room stock comes back into service. Moving to aircraft movements, total aircraft movements year to date is 12,861. Again, a decline compared to 2025. However, similar to passenger volume, the monthly data shows a consistent month-to-month recovery, and that year-over-year decline in flight frequencies narrowed from 38.2% in January to under 20% in May. Again, we are seeing that the destination continues to recover. Significantly, the average load factor is 84.6%. That's up 1.2 points over 2025, and that's a strong signal of route health, and we expect airlines to continue to add capacity as the demand increases. As we look to cargo has a similar trajectory with compared to passenger and aircraft movement. That is showing at 1,732 tons, a 90% decrease overall compared to 2025. But again, when you look on the right of this slide, we are seeing variances ranging from 29% at the start of the year, but a notable improvement in May, finishing at just about 7.2% variance year over year. So we are seeing a stabilization in our cargo traffic. Cargo recovery at MBJ is linked closely to passenger recovery because much of our cargo travels in the belly of passenger aircraft, and as passenger flights return, cargo capacity improves as well. Looking at airline performance, American Airlines remains our largest airline partner. Roughly 22% of our market share is with American Airlines, followed by Delta at 14.8% and JetBlue 11.7%. Rounding out the top five are WestJet and Southwest Airlines. WestJet is significantly improved over the year due to their merger with Sunwing. And if we look at the chart that shows the airlines from the top airline, looking at the next chart, from the top airline, the top 10 airlines, we are seeing not only WestJet significantly improving due to the merger, but also improvement in the traffic for Copa Airlines and Condor showing some stability as well. Looking at the top routes for 2026, this slide shows the largest passenger route numbers year to date. Toronto remains the largest route, followed by Atlanta, New York. Charlotte, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Baltimore, Chicago, O'Hare, and then Montreal. The key point that these are still MBJ's main traffic corridors, whilst again we're seeing some decline over 2025 due to the impact of Melissa. Toronto remains important for us. Canada remains a major leisure market for Jamaica, and the major US hubs remain critical, being Atlanta, JFK, Charlotte, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Orlando. When we look at market share, the United States remains the dominant source market. Its share has declined slightly from 72% in 2025. That's the pie chart you're seeing on the left, to approximately 67% in 2026. However, again, Canada remains an important source market. UK, Europe, and Latin America, again, the key market regions to Jamaica. Looking at passenger traffic by source market, the United States remains, as mentioned, the dominant contributor to MBJ's passenger traffic, currently accounting for approximately 67%. However, we are seeing a decline in passenger numbers from the United States, down to 32.5% compared to last year, certainly reflecting the broader recovery environment and aircraft and airline capacity adjustments, and also room availability in Jamaica. Canada follows with 17% of the overall share, but is down 26% year to date. But we're also seeing encouraging growth from emerging and diversifying markets. Latin America has seen a robust growth of 43.9%, while the European market is up 2.4%. And this is important because it shows the value of market diversification. Looking at top routes by year-to-date growth, and when we look closely at where we are growing, we are seeing some encouraging signs. Panama generated the highest absolute growth, adding nearly 14,000 passengers. And we're also seeing strong contributions from our new direct service to Bogota. Birmingham also added 7,000 passengers, while Houston, George Bush added 5,374. We're also seeing meaningful positive growth from Quebec, Malpensa, Zurich, and Montana in Canada. The key takeaway here is that there are clear pockets of route level growth. Strongest growth is coming from Latin America and select UK and European destinations. Air service development. New routes are among the strongest signs of confidence in an airport and in a destination. Airlines certainly do not launch routes casually. They study demand, aircraft availability, costs, yields, market support, destination readiness, and the long-term potential. So when a new service is announced to Montego Bay, it's a statement of confidence. It tells us that despite the challenges of the past year, Jamaica remains attractive, Montego Bay remains strong, and Sangster International Airport certainly remains a gateway for airlines wanting to expand their network. Looking at new service to Montego Bay, we had the launch of Medellin service operated by Wingo that will be 3 times weekly from June 23. It's a major step for us in terms of Latin America connectivity. And this route is important for us for several reasons. It diversifies our source market, creates a stronger bridge between Jamaica and South America, and certainly it supports business and cultural exchange. Also, it positions Montego Bay to benefit from the growing outbound travel from Colombia. This is the second route out of Colombia, as we also have a flight to Wingo to Bogota. Next month, or I should say this month, at just about the middle of July, we'll also have new service with Liat Air coming out of Pointe-à-Pitre in Guadeloupe, and certainly that strengthens Caribbean connectivity. This service certainly is important for us from the perspective that the Caribbean has historically been underconnected by air, and certainly this helps us to close that gap and allow for efficient travel between these two countries. Later this year, also, we will have, for the winter season, Breeze launching their service into Jamaica and into Montego Bay. For the winter season, Breeze Airways will begin twice weekly service from Tampa. In December, Florida, of course, remains an essential market for Jamaica. It includes leisure travel, families, Jamaican diaspora, and Tampa gives passengers another convenient gateway to Montego Bay, particularly from Central and Western Florida. Also, for the winter season, Porter Airlines will introduce new services from Toronto, Hamilton, and Ottawa, starting in late November. From Toronto, 5 times weekly service, Hamilton twice weekly, and Ottawa twice weekly as well. Canada has long been one of Jamaica's most loyal markets, and while Canadian traffic has faced some softness in recent times, and certainly the impact of Melissa, Porter joining the Canadian travel service to Montego Bay from these destinations certainly speaks to confidence in the destination and will be critical in driving capacity recovery to Jamaica. Shifting from air service development to infrastructure, MBJ is investing as it continues to rebuild. We are not certainly waiting for the perfect market conditions. We are not simply repairing damage. We are restoring, we are strengthening, we are modernizing at the same time. And this is important because the airport must be ready when demand fully returns. The projects that you will see are a part of a broader strategy to increase capacity, resilience, and enhance passenger comfort, and certainly to prepare Sansa International Airport for continued growth. The visual on the screen shows a high-level view of the current airport master plan development projects for the terminal. As you can see, we are currently working on various infrastructure projects across the terminal, landside, and in later slides we'll show airside works as well. One of the major projects certainly is the check-in hall, and the check-in hall is important because it's customer facing. It's where the departure experience begins. This project, which is in its final stages, certainly improves circulation, reduces congestion, continues to support our airlines, and creates a better experience for passengers and staff. The objective of this project wasn't just to add space, but also to improve passenger flow and to support not only the traditional counters, but also our transition to self-service technology, baggage processing, and to also improve accessible circulation for our passengers traveling through our airport. Another major infrastructure project that is well underway is the expansion of the security and immigration hall. Both of these areas, that's the size of those areas will be doubled. These areas certainly requires close partnership with the relevant agencies, TICA being a key partner on the development of the expanded immigration hall to ensure it's safe and efficient. And it will support faster processing of passengers, better queuing, improved flow, and also additional screening lanes for outbound security, which will be increased to 12, certainly improving the speed at which passengers are able to enter the secured area. The next slide shows a visual of where we are with the construction, and certainly that infrastructure project is well underway. Another major project that we are working on is our solar PV and battery energy storage system. Energy resilience certainly is a strategic priority for our airport, and our solar PV battery energy storage program is a critical part of MBJ's sustainability and resilience strategy. And certainly Hurricane Melissa reminded us that utilities cannot be taken for granted. And for us, energy is not simply a cost line, it is mission critical infrastructure. Added in this strategy, we're adding 3 megawatts now. But by the end of the year, when we would have restored other PV systems, we will be at 6 megawatts in installed solar PV. Another major project that we are working on is the Gate 67 expansion. And this project is slated to be completed this year as well. We have completed the Gate 6 ramp, so that is open and in use. Gate 7, which is shown on the right, that area was demolished. Now they are in the construction of that new area that will offer additional seating for our passengers and certainly some gate efficiencies in terms of the operation of those adjacent gates. Also, we are working on expanding the East Concourse. So this will see the addition of additional space on the north and the south side of the East Concourse. Steel has been delivered to site. The East Concourse certainly is central to long-term development at SIA. And this project will improve circulation, offer some additional flexibility with processing passengers transiting to other destinations, and certainly is one of the major infrastructure projects for us in 2026. This shows the scope of the work: expansion on the north side, highlighted there in red, the expansion of the southern section on the right side at the end, and then also at Gate 8 in the far left corner of the image. We'll be expanding that area to accommodate an additional escalator, an additional elevator that brings all of these passengers from East Concourse to the newly expanded immigration area. Also, we are working on the Western Access Road project. This is an important landside project for MBJ. Of course, airport access affects everyone, passengers, employees, taxis, bus, tour operators, even emergency services. So this project aims to add a new entrance off Godfrey Diab Boulevard. So passengers or travelers to the airport will be able to exit and enter the airport from this location. So we'll have an alternative to the main runabouts, and of course helps with reducing any possible congestion and offering a smooth and easy access and improved circulation to MBJ. This area will be paved in this month, and we intend to utilize it right away. In terms of hurricane restoration, this remains one of the defining elements of our 2026 infrastructure program. Of course, there are many images circulated globally about the damage on the Western Concourse. That roof was repaired in a temporary manner just after the hurricane to reopen the airport, but that permanent repair has now been completed. We're also working on various rehabilitation projects related to post Melissa. The cargo roof is being replaced. We are also doing major infrastructure improvements on the main terminal roof in 3 different parts of the terminal: western, central, and east. We're also upgrading our HVAC system, air handling units, and ducts. We're doing major rehabilitation on our jet bridges. Also, major improvements to our IT systems have been completed. Our car park systems have been fully restored, and our solar PV restoration is certainly on our way. Our goal is certainly not just to repair what was damaged, but to restore stronger. The image showing the damage left on the cargo roof, but that roof well on the way in terms of restoration, the image on the right. Looking at gates 1 to 5, again, the images post Melissa would have shown a different picture, but we have fully gutted this area. We replaced ceiling, and you can see all the various finishes inside of this space. It's actively used now for flight processing, and brings it also in line with the design criteria that we have set for other parts of the departure terminal. Moving on to the East Concourse, we are also improving that. Certainly the airport always is in a continuous state of improvement. This part of the terminal, we are refinishing the flooring, and that's almost complete as it relates to the central corridor, but we'll also expand that to improve the finishes on the north and the south side as well. Looking at upcoming projects for the next phase of MBJ's development, certainly one of the key projects that we will be embarking on is airside works, rehabilitation of taxiway Bravo. Those works will commence this month, but that includes a full rehabilitation of the taxiway Bravo, which is the high-speed exit, and also rehabilitation of the apron surrounding the stands at SIA. Another airside project that we are working on is Taxiway Alpha, that will see the rehabilitation of the main taxiway that leads onto the runway as well. And that project will follow immediately after the Taxiway Bravo project. We're also making a major expansion, and I would say an exciting one, to the front of house. We call this the Departures Plaza and Promenade project, but certainly it's about transforming the front of the airport. And as you can see on the screen, this is showing an overhead view, a planning view of the development, showing the various aspects of the project. If you look at the next slide, it shows the main zones, the new bus drop-off area. So we'll have a dedicated area just for coaches and buses. The majority of the passengers to Sangster International Airport are by bus. So we'll have a dedicated area for them. It will also have a dedicated area for passenger vehicles, substantial development of a promenade area and a canopy that will stretch all the way from departures to arrivals, so persons can transition between those two areas without exposure to the elements. It's a significant development and one that certainly we believe will be iconic. It will be well landscaped and inviting, offer additional food and beverage opportunities as well, but certainly a place for persons to experience the best of Jamaica as they are departing Sangster International Airport. This project is not only just about the infrastructure, but it's also about improving the sense of place in front of house. We have done a lot of work on the departures side related to this, and now we are focused on bringing that experience to the front of house. Over the next 5 years, from 2026 to 2030, certainly, we have another major phase of infrastructure investments planned for Sangster International Airport, aimed at addressing capacity, resilience, security, technology, passenger processing, airside infrastructure, commercial development, and comfort. These decisions we make now are about ensuring that MBJ is able to serve Jamaica's needs in years ahead. MBJ's capital expenditure program for this next phase of our development, beyond the 40 million that is committed to this year, is 180 million US dollars to be invested into this airport. Certainly for us, it reflects our confidence in Montego Bay, our confidence in Sangster, and our confidence in tourism and the recovery of the tourism industry. And also confidence that Sangster International Airport will remain key gateway to Jamaica and a key economic asset as well. For this 2026 to 2030 period, the program includes the replacement of whole baggage screening equipment. So this is the screening equipment that is used for bags carried in the whole baggage area of aircraft. Those systems will be entirely replaced with the latest technology, and work has already commenced on this project. Expansion of the East Concourse. So this is, again, additional space added to the East Concourse, and additional jet bridges will be added to the East Concourse as well, certainly to accommodate flights in the peak period. As mentioned, we are expanding the Departures Plaza, Canopy, and Promenade project. We'll also be expanding the arrivals area. So this is extending the terminal to the south. We have already started shifting some of our assets in that area. Knutsford Express will soon start their project to construct a new bus terminal further south. Current Knutsford bus terminal will be demolished, and the new bus pickup area will be expanded into the Knutsford space. That paves the way for the expansion of arrivals into that area. We're also upgrading baggage claim. We have replaced all our baggage carousels and increased the number of baggage carousels inbound to 7. Previously there were 6. We're also refurbishing the customs hall with entirely new finishes. Work in the design stage is well underway with that as well. Continued rehabilitation of the airside pavement, replacement of our common use passenger processing equipment. So that's the equipment used to check in passengers and for boarding, and our continued push into self-service and biometric technologies. Automated screening lanes, which will be a new introduction in Jamaica of this technology. New airport firefighting capacity in terms of additional fire trucks, and of course continued upgrades to our HVAC system. This video just shows part of the technology that we are very excited about. But this is really showing the self-backdrop technology, which we are launching with American Airlines as one of our first partners in this experience. But this will allow passengers to not only check in at the kiosk self-service using their 2D barcode technology, biometrics, but also to self-bag drop. Rather than heading to a traditional counter, they can actually take their bags from the kiosk to the self-bag drop, and that bag goes directly to screening even without the intervention of personnel. Certainly, the future of passenger processing is not just about individual processes, but it's a combination of people, of technology, and automation certainly can improve speed, it can improve consistency. Hospitality, of course, for us remains essential, so we're certainly not introducing the technology for the sake of it, but certainly to allow passengers to more efficiently and quickly move on to the departures era. The best experience is certainly one that is fast, and it's certainly the balance that we are trying to achieve. So you will see a video that bag drop technology at work.
Wow, very good.
All right, moving on to our ACI Level 3 Airport Carbon Accreditation. And this is one of the proudest milestones, certainly for MBJ in 2026. Sangster International Airport's achievement of Level 3 under the Airports Council International Airport Carbon Accreditation Program. And this is certainly not just an environmental certificate, it's certain international recognition that MBJ has moved beyond just managing and measuring its own emissions, but is now engaged in the wider airport community in a coordinated approach to carbon reduction. And at level 3, the airport responsibility certainly expands. It's no longer about what MBJ controls, which was the focus of level 1 and level 2, or solar PV playing a major role in that. But we are starting to look at our airlines, our ground handlers, our concessionaires, and other on-site partners to ensure that they make environmentally responsible and a shared commitment to reducing emissions at MBJ. One of the highlights of this achievement is that we're the first, certainly in the English-speaking Caribbean, to achieve this credential. And as airports expand, as we respond to climate change, we will see continued investment by Sangster International Airport, not just in infrastructure, but to do so in an environmentally responsible manner. This milestone also sits within a broader culture of disciplined airport management. MBJ operates a strong international, or with a strong international standards framework. We hold ISO certification in quality management, in environmental management systems, business continuity, and information security management. So certainly one of the few companies in the region to, or certainly this side of the hemisphere, to hold these 4 ISO certifications. Together, these standards help to strengthen the way we manage risk, protect operations, improve service, support sustainability, and maintain the confidence of our passengers, airlines, or government partners, and the wider airport community. So we're very proud of this milestone, and we are very energized by what it represents, a stronger culture of environmental responsibility across Sandstone International Airport, and certainly a clear commitment to raising the bar for sustainable airport management, not only in Jamaica, but the Caribbean as well. Let me now turn to something that is the very heart of who we are as an airport, or people. The MBJ Customer Experience Excellence Awards are not simply an internal recognition event. They are a statement about the culture we are building here at SIA. And this year's fourth annual Customer Experience, or CX Awards as we call it, carries special meaning because it not only coincided with MBJ's 23rd anniversary, but it came after one of the most demanding years in the airport's history. After Hurricane Melissa, our systems, our facilities, and our operations were tested, but most importantly, our people were tested. And what defined us was not the challenge itself. What defined us was how we responded. And across the airport community, people showed up. Some were managing their own personal loss. Some were dealing with disruption at home. Yet they came to work, supported each other, restored operations, helped passengers, and protected confidence in SIA as a reliable gateway to Jamaica. And this is what customer experience really means. It's not only what happens on a normal day, it is what happens when the pressure is highest, when passengers are anxious, when systems are stretched, and when the airport must prove its resilience in real time. This year's awards, 45 nominations were received across various categories. Choice Awards, Unsung Heroes, Teamwork Makes the Dream Work, Impression Makers, Caring Support, Voice of the Customers, and of course, an award related to Hurricane Melissa, Safe and Sound, as well as a special award for resilience and recovery, recognizing 13 entities whose swift response, collaboration, and commitment played a critical role in the timely and safe reopening of the airport after Hurricane Melissa. It takes airlines, agencies, concessionaires, ground handlers, security teams, government partners, all working together for a shared purpose. The real differentiator will always be our people. So we'll briefly show a highlight of the event. Certainly, the people at MBJ, not just MBJ staff, but the wider airport community, are the heart of what we do and are a differentiator for MBJ. Post Melissa as well brought attention to the wider recovery in the community. And certainly as MBJ, we don't see our role as just being at this airport. And so we have decided, and along with our shareholders to make a donation to school repairs. $20 million has already been committed towards school repairs that are in progress. And this is important because resilience is not just restoring airport roofs and power systems and gates. It's also about restoring communities. For us, schools are at the heart of community life. And school repairs mean supporting children, teachers, families, and the future of Jamaica. As a major corporate citizen in Western Jamaica, MBJ certainly must continue to contribute to the communities we serve, and more will be in the media around this in the near future. In closing, the first half of 2026 has shown resilience for MBJ. 2025 tested our infrastructure, it tested our emergency response, it tested our airline network, tested our tourism recovery. However, 26 has shown us that MBJ is resilient, the airport community is resilient, and Jamaica's tourism product is resilient. The confidence of our airline partners remains strong, but we have also seen that trend of passenger movements and cargo improving month by month. We have seen new routes and expanded service through Wingo to Medellin, Liat Air to Guadeloupe, Breeze Airways from Tampa, Porter Airlines from Toronto, Hamilton, and Ottawa. Additions that will be critical in driving capacity recovery as we move into the winter season. We have advanced major projects in the check-in, security, immigration, the gate areas, solar, PV, post-Melissa, and we are committed to 180 million additional investments in Sangster International starting this year in 2026. Proud of our achievements in ASI carbon accreditation and our continued recognition in service excellence through our CX awards certainly highlights the contribution that our staff at this airport continue to make to Montego Bay and to the wider airport community. MBJ is an airport that's not standing still. We are rebuilding and growing with purpose. To our airline partners, we thank you for your continued confidence in Montego Bay. We know airlines always have choices and we value the partnership. We value our airport and tourism stakeholders who continue to restore confidence in the destination, improve the tourism product, and promote Jamaica in the marketplace. To our government partners and regulators, thank you for your continued collaboration, oversight, and support in ensuring that this airport continues to serve the national interest. To our concessionaires, our ground handlers, agencies, service partners, thank you again for being part of the airport ecosystem. And to the MBJ team, a special thanks for continued professionalism, resilience, and commitment, working through pressure, disruption, recovery, construction, and change to keep this airport moving. And certainly to our passengers and to the wider nation, Sangster International Airport belongs to Jamaica. It supports jobs, it welcomes visitors, it connects family, it supports tourism, and it certainly helps Jamaica to compete. Our commitment is to protect it, strengthen it, and to prepare it for the future. And together with our partners across government, tourism, aviation, business, and the wider community, we will ensure that Sangster International Airport remains not only Jamaica's leading gateway, but one of the strongest, most resilient, and most welcoming experiences in the Caribbean. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Monroe. I trust you all will agree that Mr. Monroe's presentation was indeed thorough and insightful. And the scope and ambition of the projects being implemented by MBJ truly speaks of the organization's vision, ensuring that MBJ and Jamaica are fully equipped and ready to accommodate the future needs of our passengers while enhancing every touch point of the airport experience. We boast, as you saw, we boast some of the newest and most advanced innovations as any major international airport in the world. And for that, as Jamaicans, we can be proud. Behind all Mr. Monroe mentioned in terms of innovation, customer experience, expansion of the facilities, sustainability, MBJ is backed by a talented and capable team dedicated to spearheading these transformative works, led by our highly qualified CEO, Mr. Shane Monroe, who has been recently awarded the distinction of Accredited Airport Executive by the American Association of Airport Executives, or AAAE. And with this, Mr. Monroe now joins a select group of individuals who have earned this designation. We commend Mr. Monroe on this truly distinguished achievement, and this is a testament to his leadership and vision. Thanks again, Mr. Monroe. I take this opportunity to remind you that we will field questions at the end, so go to the question and answer icon and submit your questions, which will be taken later. If you're not seeing the question and answer icon, you may use the chat button. I will now take you through some of our commercial development. So MBJ, we boast a very vibrant commercial retail program here at MBJ. And we have some new concepts which recently opened. We'll just share a little bit on that with you. So we have a new store, the Makeup and Co store, that is in the Centrals area. And this opened actually last month, recently opened. We also have another concept, the Artisan District, and this offers authentic Jamaican souvenirs for our passengers. All the products sold in here are made by local Jamaican artisans, and all the products here are 100% Jamaican. And they focus on, not just the selling of a product, but the storytelling about what goes behind the making of each of these items. And this store recently also had their official opening ceremony. And of course, this is operated by one of our own Jamaicans. All right, I'll take you through a little about the MBJ Foundation. And MBJ, we have always been supportive of the community in which we operate. And we have been working with the White House community, the Victory White House Early Childhood Center, and the Flanker Primary School for some time now. And these are just few of the schools as well as agencies with which we have been working. However, one of our main initiatives from the MBJ Foundation is our annual Team Sangster Charity Run Walk. And this funds the education for persons who are in need. So we'll just share a short video of last year's Charity Run Walk. Here with us, Alyssa.
Welcome to the MBJ Team Sangster Annual Charity Run Walk.
Is one of the main pillars of our charity efforts.
It's not just about a good vibe, but it's also about wellness and keeping fit.
Happy to support, and we're always looking for opportunities to show up wherever it's possible.
More importantly, this is a community event.
To engage with the Jamaican people, to be a part of this great initiative.
All in aid of education.
So this is an event that we look forward to each year, not just MBJ, but the wider Sangster airport community, as well as our stakeholders and the wider community. But beyond getting the community together with the airport, this is an initiative which is a catalyst for change, impacting the lives of well-deserving students. And here you will see over the 5 years of us hosting this charity run walk annually, you'll see the contributions that have been made to the students. So over the 5 years, we have donated $71 million to deserving students, 3,320 students directly. And this does not include where we assist schools directly, where other students would benefit. So we want to thank you, those who have been on board, some from the initial run walk in 2019, but those who have also joined us on board. And for 2026, we're going to we'll be hosting the annual charity run walk again. It will be on Sunday, September 6th. And for those who have not yet received a letter, please feel free, should you be interested in partnering with us, to reach out to us or directly, or you can view the partnership package, which is on our website at mbjairport.com. From the charity run walk, we also have a grant award ceremony where we hand over all the funds that have been raised from the charity run walk. And we have a video here which just shows a synopsis of the event hosted this year. Due to Hurricane Melissa, it was postponed, but we had the event this year, and this was from the funds raised in 2025. So you can take a look. The MBJ Team Sangster Charity Run Walk for Education was created with a simple but meaningful purpose: to bring communities together in support of education and to provide opportunities for students who aspire to achieve more through learning.
And we want to play our part, so we have put aside $15 million from this particular event to support the recovery of schools in Western Jamaica.
You and I are building a house called Jamaica.
Thank you. And at this event, the students get the opportunity to go on stage and speak and thank publicly the partners for the run walk, and the partners, they get to see the impact of their contribution. So again, we invite all to join us in this mission in improving the educational outcome of the most vulnerable in our community. For this year, what we have done in terms of the marketing initiative behind the run walk, we'll be doubling all the advertising available in the different levels of the partnership package for our partners coming on board. So in terms of reaching the passengers, over 400,000 passengers monthly going through our airport. Also, all partners this year will receive complimentary t-shirts for their team who have signed up. So again, we look forward to having additional companies coming on board And of course, we look forward to hosting the ones who have been there with us over the years for this year's charity run walk. We will now have remarks by Mr. Audley Diedrich, President and CEO of the Airports Authority of Jamaica. I have the pleasure of inviting Mr. Diedrich for his address. Mr. Diedrich.
Thank you, MC Sharon. I will now go straight into my presentation, but let me commence by saluting the Honorable Darrell Vaz, Minister of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications, Mrs. Khadisha Campbell Rochester, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications. Also, Councillor Richard Vernon, His Worship the Mayor of Montego Bay, Mr. Douglas Lindo, the Chairman of the Airports Authority of Jamaica's board, along with members of the Board of Airports Authority who are in attendance today, my colleagues, executive from the Airports Authority of Jamaica team, Mr. Shane Monroe, the CEO of MBJ Airports Limited, Mr. Hector Cortez, the country representative of GAP, who are the owners of the concessions for MBJ and PACA. And I greet as well all stakeholders that are in attendance today and those that are not in attendance as well. All stakeholders are important to the Airports Authority of Jamaica. So ladies and gentlemen, stakeholders all in our aviation industry, and in particular, the SIA stakeholders, I greet you all once again. It is my great pleasure to bring the closing remarks to this first SIA Airport Forum for 2026, hosted by the SIA operator, MBJ Airports Limited. I'm also duty-bound to once again highlight that this biannual airport forum is a special provision under the concession agreement between AAJ and MBJ for the operation of SIA. The forum serves as a vehicle for the airport operator to provide full briefing and update to the airport stakeholders on their stewardship of the airport operation and inform them of the plans and programs that are being implemented at the airport. Equally important, the forum provides the stakeholders with the opportunity to air their issues and concerns and make recommendations for consideration on matters that could improve the airport's operation and service quality to its users. It is therefore of paramount importance that stakeholders utilize the opportunity created by the Airport Forum under the concession agreement by attending and participating and making their contribution to the overall concession administration process. This will ultimately benefit all stakeholders of the airport, our air travel and tourism industry, and by extension, the country as a whole. I am confident, therefore, that the presentation that have been made at today's airport forum fulfilled these objectives. At the time of the last airport forum held in December 2025, we had just emerged from the devastation of Hurricane Melissa. While the response and recovery of our airports and SIA in particular was very quick to enable reopening, there was still a lot of work remaining to be done to return the SIA to full capacity in time to meet the expected airport traffic resurgence in tandem with the expected return of tourism traffic as the hotels that were damaged reopened for operation. MBJ must be commended for the works that were subsequently completed between December 2025 to March 2026 to enable the full reopening of the SIA Western Terminal. Of note, these works were completed while MBJ was still implementing its other major capital projects at SIA. Commendation also goes out to the staff and stakeholders of SIA who carried out their functions and operations during this recovery period to ensure seamless service to passengers and other airport users, despite the challenges faced during the period. I move quickly to the concessionaires relief measures that were implemented in response to the impact of Hurricane Melissa. So the Honorable Darrell Vaz, Minister with responsibility for transport portfolio, who attended the airport forum in December 2025, gave instructions at that meeting to the AAJ and MBJ that we should collaborate in coming up with some relief measures to assist the SIA concessionaires whose operations were affected negatively by Hurricane Melissa. While MBJ had responded immediately after Hurricane Melissa with a relief package for November and December 2025, they sought support from the AAJ and the GOJ to assist in facilitating further relief from January 2026 onwards. Following consultations among MBJ, AAJ, and the SIA Concessionaires Association, the AAJ made representation through its parent ministry, MET, to explore whether any broader policy-level measures may be considered to support the measures already being provided by MBJ. While the outcome of this representation to the GOJ is awaited, the AAJ is pleased to note that MBJ has continued the relief measures into quarters 1 and 2 of 2026. The AAJ also notes that SIA's traffic recovery post-Hurricane Melissa is running ahead of originally forecasted recovery, driven by the pace of hotel room stock returning to drive tourism traffic recovery. The latest reported tourism recovery forecast is now for visitors' arrival to reach 80% of the 2025 level by summer of 2026 and 95% by December of 2026. These are all positive developments towards full recovery of SIA's traffic and obviating the need for continuing the level of relief previously provided. In terms of the hurricane season, which is currently upon us, 2026, as we recover from the impacts of Hurricane Melissa, it is noteworthy that we are already at the beginning of another hurricane season. The lessons learned from Hurricane Beryl in 2024 and the devastating Hurricane Melissa in 2025 should not be squandered. Therefore, the message now is to prepare even better than we were with Hurricane Melissa. Hence, our disaster mitigation and response measures are to be fully deployed in the airports. Our airports' equipment and resources for emergency responses are to be procured and secured. Finally, I say, colleagues, ensure for both property oil risks and business interruption risks. This is even more important given the recent earthquake activities taking place in the region. I move now to a slight reference to the SIA major projects that are continuing. So MBJ, supported by the AAJ, continues the implementation of a range of major capital projects at SIA, all aimed at meeting regulatory and operational standards and to provide customer assurance of safety, security, and facilitation, otherwise called customer service. These major projects include the expansion of the check-in hall, pre-board screening hall, immigration hall, new airport access roads, among others. You would have heard all about them in the presentation from Mr. Monroe just now. So we therefore look forward to the timely completion of these projects to meet the capacity demand and service quality of SIA as the airport traffic returns to its original growth trajectory. In terms of AAJ's wider airport development plans that are on the horizon, So in response to the current and major growth forecasted in our tourism industry, the AAJ is in the planning process for major airport developments across the country to meet the expanded demand for increased airport capacity and to provide alternatives for airports operations in the event of catastrophic damage to any of the major airports. So some of the projects that are under the planning horizon includes the new terminal being planned for SIA, which the minister spoke about, a new international airport being planned for Negril, now Little London, the Vernon Field Light Development Resurrection Project, the Lionel Dempsham Aerodrome Upgrade Project, and of course, as Minister mentioned, the Tinsel-Pen Aerodrome Relocation Project to NMIA Airport, and last but certainly not least, the Ken Jones Aerodrome Development and Upgrade to an IPE, International Port of Entry status. Our stakeholders and country on a whole will be kept abreast of these developments being planned. In terms of AAJ's own corporate social responsibility, we highlight our role in aviation training. So the AAJ continues to play its role as a grateful and responsible corporate citizen in the aviation environment in order to support the thrust of the airports and the wider travel and tourism industry. As such, the AAJ, as part of its initiatives to stimulate the growth of general aviation in Jamaica, the AAJ launched its aviation scholarship program in 2023 to provide pilot training, aircraft maintenance, and airport management training. The program provides 15 aviation scholarships each year to the applicants across Jamaica. The third cohort of 15 scholarship awardees was presented just recently on May 7, 2026. In closing, I must again recognize Mexican company GAP, the owner in the SIA and NMIA concessions, for its response to Jamaica and the airports emerging from the Hurricane Melissa impacts, and its continued support with infrastructure development of SIA and NMIA. Looking ahead, we anticipate continuous improvements in SIA's service quality as MBJ continues its capital development and maintenance programs. As stakeholders all in our airports, let us work together with the common goal of preserving SIA's status as the Caribbean's leading airport, as rated by none other than the World Travel Awards program, and also Jamaica's premier gateway to the second city of Montego Bay and to Jamaica as a whole. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, on a lighter note, I say, regardless of your chosen team, let's go and enjoy the remainder of the FIFA Football World Cup competition, which is now in progress. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Diedrich. MBJ, we deeply value the relationship with the government of Jamaica as well as the AAJ, and we recognize that the transformation of the nation's aviation sector is a shared responsibility of which MBJ remains fully committed to playing our part in advancing that vision every single day. Thanks again. Ladies and gentlemen, we have received a number of questions, and we will do our best to try and address as many of these as time allows. So start with the first question. Kindly advise of the schedule, completion, and commissioning date of the 6 megawatt solar power projects, and what percentage are you anticipating to offset from the national grid?
All right, thank you for that question. So we're aiming to complete that by the end of 2026. And in terms of our own consumption. We should be at about 60% of our energy coming from renewables at the end of that project.
Okay. Next question. What is the cost associated with the repairs following the damage to the airport during Hurricane Melissa? And second part, in light of what occurred during Hurricane Melissa, what plans have or are being put in place for this hurricane season?
All right, so the first question about the cost of the damage. So, of course, this is a bit fluid as we continue work, but the cost of the damage exceeds 2 billion Jamaican dollars. As it relates to the plans for this hurricane season, well, that's two parts to that. Firstly, in terms of the infrastructure, we have completed, as mentioned, major repairs related to the roof of the terminal, and it's stronger than it was built originally. So certainly we're thinking about resilience, certainly as any project that we're implementing, we are improving the resilience of the infrastructure. And also in terms of our own hurricane preparedness, we have already initiated all our emergency planning meetings. We had the kickoff of that. We have involved our stakeholders in the planning, certainly in terms at a national level as well, with ODPEM and Met Office and all the various stakeholders at MBJ attending. And then our usual preparation includes just improving the facilities, heavy maintenance or major maintenance activities on the land side, the waterways where drains exit the airport or are connected to the sea, and our other hurricane preparedness efforts in terms of resiliency, business and also communications and other infrastructure. Those have already been put in place.
Thanks, Mr. Monroe. Next question. Are there any future plans for aircraft maintenance facility at the Sangster International Airport?
Well, that's something that we have had interest from time to time. Aircraft maintenance facilities just needs the right operator and demand for it. We have one interested party now that we are evaluating, but certainly we'll match that particular facility. The demand is there for it at MBJ, and we'd actually invite interested parties who need this type of service to approach us so we can have a good picture of the needs there, but certainly it's something that we'll implement if the demand is there for it.
Thank you. Next question. Are there any plans to reintroduce the staff shuttle from the parking lot that is removed from the terminal building? And are there any plans for expansion of dining areas for employees?
Okay, well, in terms of parking, there are several works well underway along the road that heads to the cargo building. Actually, that road will be paved this month. And we're looking at making other improvements to the car park facility to maintain parking close to the terminal, but also to make it easy to access and to expand some of the parking facilities along that corridor as well. So it will be easier for staff to get to the terminal. In terms of food facilities or food and beverage facilities for staff, we're actually working on a building along that stretch as well. So adjacent to what we call our main substation, there's a building under construction that will be open this year. And inside that building, we have dedicated space for food options specifically for staff. So we have 2 spaces that are already dedicated and that will offer additional options for staff and additional seating and a more comfortable environment as well.
Next question. Any updates on the service recovery area or rebooking desk for airlines during flight interruptions?
So we previously had that at Gate 5. Was not from our view and some feedback we received at the most central location. So we are moving that to the East Concourse, and in this expansion that we're doing now on the way of the North and South area, we intend to have additional gate counters and the ability to accommodate these irregular operations.
Any more needed?
There's one more. Someone asked, please.
Not sure what that means.
That's from Mr. Speech. What is asking?
Okay, so question for Mr. Diedrich. The question is, please relist the airports across the island.
Listing them is simple to say that we have 6 airports, 3 international airports that are Norman Mall International, Sangster International, and of course the darling Ian Fleming International, and 3 domestic aerodromes, Tinston Penn, Ken Jones, and of course Negril.
Thank you so much. We are not seeing any further questions. Thanks, Mr. Diedrich. Thanks, Mr. Monroe. So we are coming to the close of our today's session. And thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here today. Your presence reflects the spirit of partnership that has always been at the heart of what makes Sangster International Airport great. And today, you have had a front row seat to the ambition and the dedication of what drives everything we do, which is ensuring a seamless, world-class, and enjoyable experience for every airport user. MBJ Airports Limited remains firmly committed to maintaining its position as an industry leader, and none of that would have been possible without the commitment and professionalism of our dedicated team and valued industry partners. Their hard work, passion for excellence, and pride in what they do have helped Sangster International earn some of the most prestigious accolades in the industry, as you have heard earlier from Mr. Monroe. And one of those includes being named the Caribbean's leading airport for 17 consecutive years at World Travel Awards. And this is no small feat, and it belongs to every single person who contributes to this airport. You can continue to play your part in ensuring that SIA secures this coveted title again this year by voting Sangster International Airport as the Caribbean's leading airport on worldtravelawards.com. As Sangster International Airport continues to soar to new heights, it remains a powerful symbol of pride and a premier gateway connecting Jamaica to the world. We look forward to continue working with each and every one of you and to make MBJ a true hub of excellence. Thank you for joining us here today, and we wish you a wonderful rest of the day. We now close. Thank you.